It has been another year of reviewing shoes, and now we're at the end of the year, and we gotta discuss what shoe won Shoe of the Year. And unlike some other types of SOTYs where they lie about who actually won, we're gonna be very honest and truthful about this whole situation, because I put a vote on my Instagram for what shoes you want for the Shoe of the Year. And I'm going to tally up those votes, but I did mess up a little bit. I forgot to put the best flick of the year, the best heel flip of the year, the best cup sole of the year, the best vulcanized shoe of the year, and the best overall look of the year. And that's what we're gonna go through in this video leading up to the Shoe of the Year that you guys voted for. The Shoe of the Year is a truthful, honest, established situation brought to you by myself and you guys for voting, which is awesome. I think next year I'm gonna do Shoe of the Year, and then I'm gonna do a Skater of the Year as well. Try to set that up for you guys. So leave a comment down below if you think I should do that. Also subscribe for a lot more skateboarding content coming to you next year in 2023. But for now, let's get into the Shoe of the Year. I don't drink very often, but for this occasion, it's a celebration. But before we get into all 10 of the skate shoes that I reviewed this year, let's go ahead and give a special shout out to this year's sponsor, which is mostly just you guys, because you guys are buying the shoelaces that are gonna last you way longer than traditional skateboarding shoelaces, and I appreciate it, and I love you guys for it. Make sure you go to extendedwear.com where you can get some shoelaces from now until the end of this month for only $10. Then after that, it's going back to $12. I just did it for December because I thought it'd be nice to have like a little discount for everybody. Cheers. Thank you, guys. Let's begin this video by going back in time to the beginning of this year, and then we'll go through each shoe that I reviewed this year, giving it a rating from 1 to 10 and how it did. And seeing the first shoe I reviewed, the Nike ISB Ishod Wear. My biggest complaint for the Ishod was that I broke my laces the second session or so after skating them, which is why I put these shoelaces in them so that way it would be better. The Ishod shoe is probably one of the best shoes that I skated this year. I would give the Ishod a 8 out of 10 for the pure fact that I didn't like the way that they looked. This next shoe is the Nike SB Force 58. This is actually like a very, very solid skateboarding shoe. It does have a very good cup sole, and this is a shoe that a lot of you guys asked me to skate for a while, and then I finally got myself a pair and tried them out and let you know how they work. I broke my shoelaces quite often while skating these shoes, and that was probably another thing that annoyed me. I just noticed right now that my shoelaces look like they were broken. Very solid cup sole. If you've skated a Bruin React in the past, then you're gonna recognize the feeling of this cup sole and the pattern of the tread on the bottom of the shoe. I'm gonna give this shoe a good solid 6 because it's a little bit better than average, but still just a real basic run-of-the-mill, middle-of-the-line skateboarding shoe. So if you find them on sale, probably worth it. The next shoe is the Vans Lizzie. This is actually a surprisingly better skateboarding shoe than I thought. I didn't think I was gonna like it that much. At a cost of $85, a little bit better than your average Vans skateboarding shoe. Every Vans shoe that I've skated kind of felt exactly the same. However, this one kind of felt more close to when I skated the first Costin that Nike made, where it had the sock on it. However, it was still a vulcanized shoe. So being that it was a vulcanized shoe, it didn't really do it as good for me as I wanted it to. But I do remember it being a very solid skateboarding shoe. And for that, the Vans Lizzie is going to get a 6.35 because honestly, it's way better than a normal Vans shoe, but at the same time, I wasn't really impressed with it. I remember by the end of skating it, that I was excited to not skate them anymore. The next shoe that's up is the Etnies Chris Jocelyn. Now the first Chris Jocelyn was a cup sole, and this was the Volt. I did a first impression session in them. I really did like skating these shoes. However, there were other shoes that I wanted to skate at the time, so I did not continue skating them. I do remember having a pretty good time skating these that first session, and I think I skated them once or twice more after I skated them for this video in this session. The fact that it's a vulcanized shoe, and I still really liked skating it when I did skate it, even though I predominantly like cup soles for myself. So I'm going to give these shoes a 8.75. Very, very high up, almost hitting the 9 club. Adidas Copa National Millennium. This shoe, I was hyped to start skating. I was stoked when I saw them. I'm like, these look awesome. I'm really excited to start skating these. And I put them on my feet and they felt really snug, almost like a Lucas Puig. The sips are getting bigger. Woo! It's a celebration. It's okay. It's the end of the year. We're celebrating, all right? When I skated these, the thing that I noticed most about it is that I did like the flick with them. The thing about that flick is that it got destroyed real quick because the whole toe of this shoe got ripped open the first session that I skated them. And the fact that I was breaking my laces constantly with them, I'm giving these shoes a 4.398. it wasn't good because I spent a lot of money on these and they were like broke down so fast. So if I'm spending a lot of money on a skateboarding shoe, I don't want it to be broken up in like 2 seconds. So I'm sorry, Adidas. Maybe next time you make a shoe like this, you can make the toe a little bit more durable. Next up is the Lakai Gas Telford. Now, a lot of you guys left comments almost on every video that I ever make telling me to try to skate these shoes, and I finally got to them. And let's be honest here, it's literally a Jordan with a Lakai logo on the side of it. But for some reason, I did feel like these shoes got floppier and bulkier faster than any time I've ever skated like a Jordan shoe. Usually Jordans kind of keep their shape a little bit more, and these felt very similar. However, didn't have that same construction that Nike does with their shoes, which is weird because it looks exactly the same. You would think it would be more similar than what it was, right? However, Lakai is a legendary skateboarding shoe company, and I think that most Lakais are very good to skate. If you want to try a real good skateboarders shoe, then Lakai is definitely a good way to go. I give these Lakais a 7, solid 7 right here. High up there, not the best, but definitely not below par. Next up, we have the New Balance 440. This shoe was actually like a lot better than I thought, because when I saw it, I'm like, it's another dad looking shoe. They were really good for everything I wanted to do. However, they were also a little bit underwhelming for things that I like to do, like my heel flip tricks, trying to skate down stuff if I wanted to skate down stuff. Seeing as how these are New Balances made for skateboarding, I would have thought that they would have put more thought and emphasis into the impact protection on the shoe. It's very good if you want to be a tech kind of guy. Low impact things, you're trying to flip in, flip out. So my rating for this New Balance shoe is a 6.839. It's real close to a 7, but not too close. Just a little close. The next shoe that we have up is the Lakai Evo 2.0. This shoe was $72, and I remember skating it and being pretty damn delighted at the cup sole capabilities of this shoe. Now, however, I do also kind of remember the new shoe feeling did kind of wear out quicker than I thought that it would. And then after that, I was like breaking my laces and stuff, so I just put my laces in because I didn't want to deal with retying them and all that all the time. They did kind of look like a Lakai running shoe, and the impact protection wasn't everything that I wanted it to be. However, I did put my insoles that I'm working on in them, and it felt really good, and I felt really confident skating them on anything that I wanted to. These Lakais were actually a very good skate shoe for me. I did skate them pretty damn hard. They're pretty destroyed by the end of the review. I'm gonna give these shoes a 7 because they're really good, but they're not the absolute best things in the world. They lost their shape kind of quick, but they're a really good skateboarding shoe. Next up, we have a highly controversial shoe. However, it's actually one of the dopest shoes that you could get, seeing as how it is one of my fellow colleagues in the skateboarding YouTube. It's a YouTube channel that grew to make their own shoe, Braille. I skated the first Braille shoe, and I was pretty disappointed with it, honestly. I was like, this feels like a slipper. I don't really like them. Their second skateboarding shoe, however, is a cup sole that felt real nice, and at the same time, didn't look absolutely horrible, but it did look a lot like old 90s skateboarding shoes that are pretty bulky. So for that reason, I didn't really like how they looked. More importantly, they felt a lot better than the first try shoe that they made. Definitely worth trying if you like want to try some skateboarding shoes from a YouTube channel. Just wait till I make some. Eventually, I should do that. I'm gonna make a skateboarding shoe eventually. I'm going to give the Braille skateboarding shoe a 6.5, honestly. A little bit better than average. But it does seem like it probably would last like a while. If you're skating every day and you skated these, you'd probably be good for like at least a month. And a month skating a pair of shoes is a long time. Good job, Braille. I'm excited for your third try when you do that. This was the first session for the New Balance 808. I still have to do the full review, so make sure you subscribe because I'm gonna come out with that soon. I did stop skating these for a little bit so I can do the Niger review because I was able to get them a lot quicker than I thought I was gonna be able to get them. First Tiago started to feel kind of floppy. However, these, I put them on now to go skate, and I still feel like I have 2 solid bricks on my feet. Like I'm ready to flick any which way I need to, or if I want to jump off of something, impact protection's there. If I want to get a nice flip, nice quick little kick flip, if I want to do a real solid heel flip, one of the best cup soles in the game right here. So the Tiago 808 is going to get a 9. First shoe for the 9 Club this year. If you like a solid shoe that feels like a brick on your foot that's never gonna be breaking down on you, then definitely get yourself some of these Tiagos. If you like your shoes to break in real easy, then this is like a 0 for you. Don't get them. As a extra little special sprinkle on top, I skated the Nyjah 3 cup sole, crazy upper, freaking Nyjah's name on it, looking like a golf shoe, but you're supposed to skateboard in them. Got a weird strap on the side that makes it so if your shoelace breaks, which it definitely will, you're gonna need to rearrange your shoelaces. However, one of the cleanest looking skate shoes when they're new. I skated these shoes for like 3 weeks. It's okay, we're gonna be honest about this. We're gonna be honest about this whole situation. Regardless, Nyjah's shoe, amazing. Freaking great shoe. I did not put my shoelaces in there because I wanted to tell you guys how many times I had to break and retie the shoelaces so that the little flap on the side wasn't dangling. I had to retie it like 3 or 4 times. If I'm looking at a non-biased, honest opinion about these Nyjah 3s and rating them on how they did, I'm giving them a 8.965 because it's real damn close to a 9, but the whole shoelace situation was honestly pissing me off. So now that we have a rating for all of the shoes that I've reviewed this year, let's go ahead and start giving away these awards, starting with the shoe with the best flick. Now, I gave this a lot of consideration, a lot of thought, a lot of rewatching my reviews to remember how they felt. And the shoe with the best flick of 2022 is the Etnies Chris Jocelyn Volk. The Etnies Chris Jocelyn was a vulcanized version of his first shoe. And it was like a really, really good flick. These shoes made me feel like I could do my kickflips real nice, real easy without having to try very hard to get them around. So, these shoes definitely win best flick for 2022. The shoe with the best heel flip is the one that kind of feels like a brick. It's the Tiago 808. Probably one of the most solid feeling cup soles that I've ever skated. And with that, gives you some really solid feeling heel flips. Not the best looking shoe, but it is definitely the best heel flip of 2022. Since we are talking about heel flips, I would be remiss if I was not to talk about the best cup sole. Now, having the best heel flip doesn't necessarily mean it's the best cup sole, because although it can feel real solid for the heel flip, maybe it doesn't feel as solid holding your heel in place. And for a shoe that's doing that, is a shoe that had part of the outsole attached to the rest of the upper. The Nyjah 3 is winning the best cup sole, mostly because it is a cup sole that I've never seen before. You can see through the rubber of the tread into the rest of the outsole, showing you that there is that piece of foam that goes through the rest of the entire outsole. When you first put it on, it felt like it was really thin, but then the more you skated it, the more you realize oh, this actually has some pretty good impact protection. However, if you do land primo, it's still game over. It's not gonna help with primo. If I was to incorporate these with a pair of my insoles, and if I made sure that I put my laces in here, standalone on its own, very, very good cup sole. So many tinies lead up to one biggie. The best Volk of 2022 is going to have to be the Lizzie, because it was a vulcanized shoe, but for some reason felt more like a cup to me. It still had the performance of that vulcanized shoe, but I still didn't have to readjust how I did my flick to be a Volk shoe. Because usually when you have that new Volk feeling, it's more of a snappy flick. But when you have more of a cup feeling, I feel like I flick and it feels like a little bit of a slower flick. For a shoe that is a Volk, but feels more like a cup, definitely the Lizzie wins for the best vulcanized skateboarding shoes. NS for not sponsored videos. All of these videos have no sponsors because I'm here to give you the honest opinion about skateboarding shoes. The best looking skateboarding shoe of 2022 is going to have to honestly be the Lakai Telford. I think Jordans look dope, and I think Lakai's look dope. So if you give me a Lakai that is also kind of looking like a Jordan, then you got me at the coolest looking skateboarding shoe of 2022. So thank you, Lakai, for making a cool looking Jordan, because I think it looks sick. Check me out, I'm gonna do this lazy flip right here. Pew, 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 pew. Perfect. Landed on the nose all crazy. That's okay, it's fine. Next up, we have the ugliest skateboarding shoe of the 2022. This is probably gonna come as no surprise, but the shoe that I feel like is kind of the ugliest looking skateboarding shoe of all of the shoes that I skated is the Braille Red Lodge shoe. It's not the ugliest shoe in skating by far, it's just the ugliest one that I've skated. However, if you were to put this shoe in a beauty contest, it wouldn't be able to walk on stage because it's pretty not good looking. we have a bonus category. And this bonus category, where's my insoles? This bonus category is gonna be the best impact protection shoe of 2022. Yeah, I'm gonna make videos about this later. Make sure you subscribe for the videos about this later because it's literally like a ridiculous story. It is the Tiago 808. Tiago 808 is probably one of the most solid cup soles, solid heel flip shoes of 2022. The moment you have been waiting for. Thank you for staying here this long. I appreciate you. I love you. We're gonna talk about the shoe of the year for 2022. Skateboarding has had its ups and downs lately, and looks like there's a lot more down when it comes to the trust in the skateboarding media. Meaning that I'm looking at Thrasher saying, why the hell did you even have people vote? Because I don't think that there's any way that people voted for Tyshawn over Nyjah, having seen both the video parts and just the sheer amount of just ridiculous that Nyjah did. But so here, we are going to count all of the votes that you guys voted for on my Instagram. Now, granted, I don't have the hugest Instagram following for people to vote, but it's still democracy. We have 165 comments that I need to go through and tally up and see whose shoe of the year. We're gonna do the top 3 for SOTYs. Coming in at 3rd place is Jocelyn's. There can only be one though, but before there's one, there's 2nd place. And 2nd place is the Tiago 808. Not surprising for me. Not one bit. And the shoe that has won shoe of the year is the iShod Wear. It's a cup sole, looks like a basketball shoe, and it's beautiful. Cheers to the shoe of the year. Make sure you subscribe for next year. A lot more shoe reviews and shoe content, insoles coming soon. And I love you. Let's go ahead and keep these honest opinions going. Cheers, boys. Speaking of honesty, this is water. I've been drinking water this whole time. Always gonna be honest with you. Okay, I love you. Subscribe. See you later.